going on, Jerome's? We are here. It is a beautiful Thursday, and things are looking up. Sun is shining and stuff. Back is feeling aight. So we are here, and let's dive on in. So first up, per Persuasion, per Alec Lewis on K-Fan, 100.3. The Fan. There have been big name guys who the Vikings have, I believe, checked into from a defensive standpoint, defensive talent standpoint. So free agents making a big time splash. And if Kirko gone, if Daniil gone, that would free up some allocated cap space, and the Vikings can really go for the pin. And of course, Rob Brzezinski is the contract master, and also the Vikings. I mean, the Vikings are looking pretty good in terms of cap space in 2025, $100 million plus. That doesn't get talked about enough, but I will take your finest Chris Jones. We will take your finest Christian Wilkins. We will take your finest Kendall Fuller, Leonard Williams, Bryce Huff, Devin White. Why the hell not? That's right. Load up and really go for things with Flores and crew. Because also, Flores being sort of being frozen out for potential head coaching openings, he could be here for a while. And this could be his revenge. And he could just build the best defense in the National Football League and basically just embarrassedly be like, hey, you have this guy who built the best defense in the NFL. Because remember, Flores came from a scouting background initially, and you're still not going to give him an interview? Really? Oh, really? Can't wait, man. It's going to be good times. Something I can't wait for is, so I like Justin Fields. I think that he got a raw deal in Chicago. I'm not wild about trading for Justin Fields. I don't want to give the Bears any capital, but if he's a free agent next year, sure, we could talk about. But Vikes fan page, there's been no dialogue between the Vikings and the Bears for a trade involving quarterback Justin Fields. Darren Duke-Wolfson mentioned on Score North. So I think that this does not mean that this door is closed. I think what the Bears are doing is that they're probably going to take Caleb Williams at 1, and they're sort of fretting right now because ideally. They want, all right, so Ryan Poles came out and said at the Combine they wanted to trade Justin Fields before free agency. Now, that was seen as altruistic, but really that makes sense from their point of view because, hey, if we can trade him before some of these spots get filled, we could probably get more in draft capital in return. But I think that it's going to be musical chairs, and I think that Fields won't have a spot because it looks like Kirko's going to the Falcons, which, Aaron, I don't know. I still think Fields would have made the best. Whatever. Steelers probably sticking and picking with their guys. Washington and New England probably out. Raiders might be out. They might be in the rust. Denver probably no. So they may just be stuck. And I think Fields might get traded to a spot where he's not even guaranteed to be the starter. And I think that the Bears may be forced to take a day 3 pick. When remember, all this, when the offseason started, all the Bears fans talking tough. Oh, we're not taking anything less than a first-round pick. Oh, look at us. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we won't take anything less than a second-round pick. Bro, you're going to be lucky to get a 4th. That's all. That's all, man. So I'm not saying this is closed because it could be a spot where Kirk leaves, Vikings sign a veteran bridge quarterback, the draft comes around, and maybe they still get their guy, and maybe, the Vikings have an extra 4th-round pick, and maybe during the draft after the Bears took Caleb Williams, the Vikings are like, aight, 4th-round pick. That's all. Speaking of the draft, so Brett Coleman, guru of the film, one of our favorites, he put this out. How I see it as of today, which was yesterday, 2 days ago. Combination of my own preferences plus gossip that makes sense. 1, Caleb. 2, Washington, Drake May. 3, New England. Ooh, Marvin Harrison Jr. 4, Arizona, Rome Odunze. Coming in from the Washington University. Penix made him, by the way. Number 5, the Vikings trade him with the Chargers. McCarthy, dead serious. So the Vikings trade up to 5, get ahead of the Giants, who take a quarterback as well, Jaden Daniels, and they take McCarthy as QB3. That's spicy. I like it. I'm in. And I feel like it's so weird. Like J.J. McCarthy might be the most polarizing draft prospect since Josh Allen, the quarterback. Josh Allen, the edge rusher, I think everyone was in on, but Josh Allen, the quarterback, was seen as boom or bust, absolute boom or bust. There was no in between, and there was a civil war in the draft community about Josh Allen. I think there's a similar one with J.J. McCarthy, but it's so weird because it's all the rumors about the NFL executives and coaches. They love J.J. McCarthy. Same thing with high-level draft analysts, and it's all the fans that hate J.J. McCarthy. It's so weird because when it was Josh Allen, it was 50-50. Draft experts as well as rumors about the league and fans. It was split 50-50, but there's such a divide. I'll defer to the people whose job it is to say, hey, this guy's probably a good quarterback, even though they get it wrong a lot too. Jaden Daniels goes to the Giants. They're out on Daniel Jones. He's done. Joe Walt goes to Tennessee. I love it. Dallas Turner goes to Hotlanta. That's assuming that they probably get Kirk Cousins in free agency. Malik Neighbors goes to the Bears. Ooh, I don't like that. So Caleb Williams, Malik Neighbors, DJ Moore. Their offensive line still sucks, but I mean, at least their receivers are good. It's basically like Joe Burrow. 10, the Jets in the offense tackle. Yeah, so the Vikings, I think the steam is legit, and I think the steam from the Vikings looking to trade up last year was legit. I think Kwesi wants to make a move. I think that that's what they're going to do. I think that was the plan all along with Kirk, where basically they strung him along as hey, we'll have you back on a cheap one-year deal. That's what they did Kwesi's first off season when they did the 1 year, $35 million Band-Aid. That's how it's been the rest of the way. I Kwesi, you have to respect the line in the sand that they've taken with Kirk Cousins. Speaking of, I got no transition, but Florio and Sims, so they talk about football sometimes. Florio, that's not Thermos, as well as Chris Sims, son of Boomer Esiason. People get mad about that. They're like, huh? Doesn't matter, man. But Chris Sims released his... much es muy infamoso quarterback prospect rankings. Now, Sims says that this isn't based on anything off the field. This is strictly tape. Now, he's got Caleb Williams 1, a class of his own. Tier 2, number 1 in other years, Jaden Daniels. Tier 3, franchise starting quarterbacks. Bo Nix at 3. Michael Penix Jr., medicals and all. But again, he's also just going off the film. J.J. McCarthy 5. Drake May 4, Tier 4. At number 6, talented project. So that's uber interesting. Where I feel like consensus is, what's up, Sylvie? Drake May is 2 or 3 for a lot of people, a lot of draft experts. So Sims, like, he's not afraid to be punk rock and cut against the grain. Also, I think that, I mean, if you just went chalk, if you just went what the consensus is, like, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, McCarthy, Penix, Bo Nix, or Bo Nix, Penix. I feel like he won't get attention. So I feel like Sims is media savvy enough to be like, let's shake this up a little bit so we get some clicks and attention. Because remember, Chris Sims back in 2021 had Justin Fields at 5. A lot of people had Justin Fields number 2. He had Zach Wilson number 1 ahead of Trevor Lawrence. Maybe that's true because Trevor Lawrence is kind of booty. Mac Jones at 3. Kellen Mond at 4. He's what gave us hope. Chris Sims, the left-hander who got benched for Major Applewhite, you gave us hope that Kellen Mond was going to be something. But that it turns out it was just poison pill. Maybe it was just trolling from a Texas Longhorn alum to a Texas A&M Aggie. He's like, oh, he's going to be good. No, he sucks. Aha. Gotcha. I don't know, man. Something I also don't know is Kirk Cousins. So their third team put this list out. Why Cousins fits in Atlanta. Per Ari Marioff, My Sports Update. Kirk's wife is from Atlanta. Hey, every single quarterback should move to where their wife's from then. I don't know. Like, I feel like this has been repeated ad nauseum. Also, hey, is Kirk's wife from Minnesota? Was Kirk's wife from New Jersey? The 2 finalists for when he was a free agent in 2018? Is that what's important? I don't know. Atlanta offense coordinator Zach Robinson runs Shanahan-style offense. You know who else runs Shanahan-style offense coming from the Sean McVay tree? Kevin O'Connell. Where Kirk has had probably the best 2 seasons of his career the last 2 years. Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts are attractive weapons. All right, so Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Ty Chandler's probably going to RB1, as well as Hawkinson when he gets back. Plus you have Darisaw and O'Neal. Kirk loves playing in domes. Oh, it's not like the Vikings play at the Met anymore. Although, all right, so funny story. We're walking through Mall of America a couple weekends ago, and we walked by through, I don't know what it's called now. It's always going to be Camp Snoopy. The ride's in the middle, and we came across the home plate. You know, home plate where Harmon Killebrew used to crush 5 bajillion bombs and then eat 5 hot dogs. And then Margaret was like, my oldest daughter was like, hey, well, what is that? It's like, oh, that's home plate for where the stadium used to be. They used to play baseball in here? There's no room. It's great, man. It's great. Also, getting tangent ear. Some old family members said like, well, you know, back at the Met, we used to be up in the 3rd level, and then we would sneak in a case of Schlitz, and then on a windy day, like the 3rd level would just like Sway in the breeze. That's great. You wonder why a referee got hit in the head with a whiskey bottle after the Drew Pearson push-off. Cheating Drew Pearson's push-off. It's weird. But yeah, historic U.S. Bank Stadium also in the dome. NFC South is wide open. Is that what he wants? Low-hanging fruit? Sure, the NFC North has gotten better, but guess what? The Vikings gotten better too. If you're scared, get a dog. Okay. Also, who says it's wide open? The Bucs have won the division 3 years in a row, and they brought back Mike Evans, and they're probably going to have Baker. I mean, it's not like they got worse. Just whatever. I feel like all these are cop-outs, and it basically comes down to his wife's from Atlanta. Like, that's all the people have. So stupid. Then it gets into... So when Florio was on with McAfee this week, it said Florio says he's hearing Rise Up Raheem. Must be like a Falcons account. Florio says he's hearing Kirk Cousins and Kyle Pitts will have been in touch on who will wear number 8 next year. That sounds like tampering. That sounds like collusion. But Kyle Pitts weighed in. This is actually funny. You guys come up with anything. Now, I believe Kyle Pitts wore 8 at Florida, right? Oh, it's actually, if only. This is a good pod, but I don't care. Kyle Pitts Florida. It's so no, he wore 84 at Florida. So if he wants to go back to the double digits, actually, I mean, why did he wear 84 in college? You can wear single digits in college. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Anyways, but I don't know. Could he go back to 84? I guess Cordero is probably going to be gone from the Falcons, so 84 is available. Go ahead. Doesn't matter. Numerology podcast coming soon, but. So John Frisella, so fantasy football guru, good follow, give a follow. And he said basically what a lot of Vikings fans I think are feeling right now. He tweeted this out. I have to say the whole Kirk Cousins situation is very surprising to me. Where are you going to find a better wide receiver than Justin Jefferson? Nowhere. Number 2, he has an excellent working relationship with Kevin O'Connell. But did you know that Zach Robinson comes from the same tree? Number 3, doesn't he feel unfinished business losing to the freaking Giants in the playoffs? No. All he cares about is money. He does not give two doo-doos about winning. He doesn't care. Number 4, does the money really matter this much? Guy is already loaded. Now, I know some people on some other channels sort of went on like a socialist rant, and then I know I'm from Minnesota, but I'm a dirty capitalist pig. Fully understand that, but also. As a student of economics, I also recognize the marginal utility for every single additional dollar that you have goes down. I mean, so, and also, Kirk doesn't live a very lavish lifestyle. Like he doesn't have like 24 kids. He doesn't have like he isn't taking care of like 17,000 friends and family. He isn't invested in failing businesses. He ain't doing that. Right? I feel like Kirk is the type of guy. His first rookie contract with Washington, he still has that first dollar, or maybe he framed the active check like Ricky Henderson. I could see that. So I mean the margin utility of every single additional dollar that he has now is very, very low. But does he even care about legacy? I don't know. Does he even care that Justin Jefferson and the Vikings and Kevin O'Connell all love him? I don't think so. So who knows? Man. Next. So the Bills had themselves a little bit of a purge. So the Bills were in the second worst cap shape in the league next to the Saints, and they made some decisions where, yeah. So people throw this in our face when we say, cap is a myth. They're like, well, if the cap is a myth, I mean, how come they're getting rid of all these players? That's because that's what you do. Now, the cap is legit, except there are ways to work around it. And also, if you have a capologist like Rob Brzezinski, he can certainly help you with these things. And also, it's not like they're cutting Josh Allen. It's not like they're cutting Stephon Diggs. They're cutting players who have reached sort of the end of their utility. Buzzword of the day, since we're on economics. Basically, reaching the end of their usefulness in terms of their playing career. And that's what it is. Again, they're not cutting their stud players in their prime, although they held on to Von Miller for whatever reason. But Schefter, go. The Bills' cuts of Jordan Poyer, safety Jordan Poyer, all-pro Jordan Poyer, center Mitch Morse, cornerback Serene Neal, Deontay Hardy, Naheem Hines will create approximately $25.96 million cap space. Blah, 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 blah. That's why the cap is a myth. The release of Tre'Davious White will open up another $10.2 million, but only after June 1st. So, yeah, the Bills are sort of up against it with the cap, but see, that's the problem. You only take on dead cap hits most of the time on players that are going to be on the roster. That's why you only restructure players that are going to be on the roster. So, yeah, either way. Mitch Morse could be interesting, even though he's up there in age. He is 31. Former starting center for the Chiefs and the Bills. 71.4 PFF pass block grade last year. 1 sack allowed. Wouldn't be the long-term solution, but would add a little bit more ass in the middle versus Bradbury. Tre'Davious White's interesting. So Trey White, I mean, he was on an all-pro path, man. But 3 years of injuries and just sort of bad luck. But he is 29. Yes, Skull SU is the directive, but only 182 snaps last year. 80.6 quarterback rating with throwing out 1 touchdown, 1 pick. And I don't know, like, he'll have a market, just like everyone else. But, I mean, could he be cheap? Could he need a 1-year prove-a deal with some incentives? Would love to see it, man. Lastly, so this made me laugh. And again, I mean, sometimes this Vikings news dump is Vikings related. Sometimes it's just funny stuff. So Jimmy Kempski, nailed it. Eagles beat writer. So Zach Ertz got signed again. I don't know how he keeps finessing contracts. Maybe only funny to me, but Zach Ertz' agent is clearly telling reporters to call him a tight end guru in return for scoops. So you see this all the time where NFL insiders are very useful, but where do you think they get their information from? Usually they're just pushing press releases from teams or agents. Usually agents, right? And isn't it interesting that Schefter and Pelissero and Garofalo and also Field Yates, that they have all the exact same scoop within about a minute of each other with very similar wording? That's because it's almost like the tweets are written for them by agents. And also there's a little bit of quid pro quo. It's like, hey, the agent will give you inside information if you pass on some inside information that you got from someone else giving you inside information. Sort of quid pro quo. No, but it's funny. So tight end guru Steve Karsik, doesn't matter. But so I don't know if this is accurate. But Steve Karik's clients include TJ Edwards, who got himself a big time deal from going from the Eagles to the Bears last year in free agency. But also Austin Hooper had a pooper. And then Tyree Jackson, Dalton Schultz just got paid too. Zach Ertz got a mini contract. So, I mean, maybe he is the tight end guru. Also, Oli Udoh is one of his clients, the pride of Milan. He actually got some decent money from the Vikings last year to be a backup before he tore his quad. Who knew? Anyways, maybe that's only funny for me as well. Me and Jimmy, we're just laughing together. There you go. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings news done for this beautiful Thursday. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull.